Hey, what's going on, guys? Lord Zoot here, back with another video for y'all, and today I'm going to be showing you guys some Evelynn jungle. So this game is pretty old, but I still think it's important for you guys to watch so you can see just how much of an impact you can have in the jungle. So the team is going to go for a level 1 invade, and they just get to the river faster than we do, and so really all we can do is just kind of walk away at this point. Evelynn's going to be really weak before she hits 6, and so this is not really a fight that we're looking for. So like after Evelynn hits 6, I really think she's just like a risk-free jungler just because she doesn't have to worry about, being caught on vision because she just pretty much stays invisible. And that's just going to make it impossible for the enemy team to track you, and it makes the game so much easier. But the only downside is that pre-6 she's going to be pretty easy to kill. I mean, it just really depends. You don't want to just ignore your lanes. If you see a gank, like we're going to get a gank off here mid. If you see a gank, you want to go for it. Your main goal should be getting to 6 as fast as possible. Getting to level 6 on Eve is really important because it's going to set up all of her ganks and also give her her strongest ability, which is her ult. Her ult is an execute and can be used to also steal objectives or even disengage. And it's her best ability because it not only gives you an indicator of when you can execute, it can also be used to travel over terrain. Yeah, here's the gank mid that I was talking about. The reason why you don't really want to gank before 6 on Eve, or you're not as strong ganking 6, is because it's going to be really hard to set up your charm. That's why you always want to have hard CC when you're playing with the Eve. We have a Pantheon here who's going to hit his stun, and we're just going to drop our charm. And you want to make sure you wait for your E to fully charge, so that way you can get the charm off. And in order to secure the kill here, we're just going to flash with the Victor. This is pretty risky. You can honestly just let the Victor go by getting his sums, but we really need the kill here. A perfect start for a Jun. Anytime you can get a kill off of your first couple of games, it's going to be very important for you. You guys should know you should be careful when you're ganking like this and make sure that you're paying attention to your health, because the enemy jungler can easily just come into your jungle now and get a free kill. Now we're pretty lucky that the Graves decided to go for mid and we actually get another kill to our mid laner, but he could have easily invaded us here and probably did a kill because we have no flash. It's important to know not everything is guaranteed, so sometimes you will take risks and not be punished for it. It's just important to always pay attention to stuff like this and make sure that you're not making these mistakes over and over. But yeah, if you see their junglers skip camps in their first rotation, it's probably in your best interest to try and make sure that they get punished for that. It's always important to look up when you're doing your jun. I mean, sometimes you don't have the ability to, but when you just see something, just scan over there, click the map, stand over there, see what's happening, and you might be able to, take advantage of that information. A lot of people don't know this. You can also use the function keys to choose your teammates, including yourself, and so if you press F1, it'll go top, or whatever, F2 will go to your next teammate. I'd rather just click the map if I'm looking in the lane. I think going all the way up there to try and choose is kind of uncomfortable for me, but whatever works for you. But yeah, you don't have to sit there and pretty much play locked on to your top lane. It's just you're just basically looking. If you're in the area, you look top, see what's the health bar, see where everyone's at. I'll also use just health bars of my teammates, so if they have just really low health, I'll look at the trade, or if I see a fight going on, I'll look at the fight, see what's going on. But I mean, you don't want to just sit there and tunnel vision down, play lock screen, because it's very important to know what you're about to walk into. Just trying to find your balance. I play lock hammer for a majority of the game, and I'll just look up to see where I'm going in my pathing. If I see top lane pushed in, I'll look at top to see if it's gankable, and then otherwise I just check down and see if it's if you want to make a play there or not. Yeah, so a lot's been going on, but we just hit 6, and so we're immediately just going to be looking for lanes to gank. I mean, you don't want to ignore your camps. You always want to make sure that you're staying busy, but if you have really nothing else to do, you just want to kind of take advantage of the fact that you're invisible. Yeah, so start to linger in lanes a little bit longer, but I wouldn't stay in one area for too long. I would just keep it moving. Yeah, so we're going to go for this invade onto the Graves, and this is just because we don't see any lanes to gank. And so we're just going to check out and see if we can maybe pick up a free kill. Yeah, so the Graves is going to get away here, but we're going to be able to pick up the kill onto the Victor who gets caught out. Yeah, so after picking up the kill on Victor, we're going to go straight to the Rift. Now, it's very important that we don't drive too much attention towards the Rift. We just want to make sure that our teammates are available and are able to help us if we need it. Yeah, so the Graves is here to contest this, and at this point, I'd like to see my lanes to start to rotate over. Yeah, so anytime you start one of these objectives and they're contesting, you just want to make sure you're focusing down their jungler, while also making sure your jungler doesn't die. That way you can secure the objective with smite. It gets pretty close there. The Graves is on top of the rift, but we are able to secure it. Now we just have to make sure that we get out of here alive. So this is one thing you want to make sure you're paying attention to, because sometimes the objective is not worth your entire team dying for, and so it might have been better for us to give this objective. But because my team is already 3k gold ahead of the other team, these two deaths aren't going to give the other team a huge advantage. Yeah, so we wind up losing 2,000 gold for that one rift. Now I still think we're ahead in this game, but it's just going to be easier for us to lose if we continue to make mistakes like that. So while waiting for my top lane to get back into the lane, I'm going to hold the tower here, and we're going to just start trading aggressively with their top lane. Yeah, so anytime I'm holding a lane for my team, I like to start taking very aggressive trades so that when my teammate gets back into the lane, they'll have an advantage. So after getting the kill top lane, I drop the rift, and while I'm making my way back to my jungle, I see the Graves going mid lane, and so I'm just going to follow up and pick up the free kill. Yeah, so looking back, I probably should be resetting here, but instead I go for another engage onto the Victor. I really wasn't expecting this damage here, and so without my ult, I have no escape, and I'm just going to get chased down into the river. So Eve has a couple good builds here. I think her most popular item is probably the Proto Bow or Night Harvester. I wound up going for the Ludens here just because I figured the Nazes is going to be pretty hard to kill. We just want as much burst damage as possible, that way we can avoid longer fights. So on your first back, you kind of want to look for 12 to 1300 gold, and I like to go for a blasting wall and dart seal. I think this is just like basically like building Tiamat on an 80 jungler. Dart seal is just super cheap, and it's very easy to start snowballing with. So because of that death mid, we do have to give up the drag. We're just going to go back into clearing our jungle, making sure that we're always gaining experience and gold. Looking at the map, we do see the team is grouped up mid, and this is going to give us another free kill on the Victor. So I'm thinking we're really strong on the Eve right now, so I'm playing really aggressive in their John. I wind up getting caught out here and dying, which is really bad. Yeah, so after this death, I'm going to pick up the Dart Seal, and my next item is going to probably be the Lich Bane. And Lich Bane is going to help us continue to improve our burst damage. Yeah, so while my team goes for this engage mid, there really isn't much for us to do here. And after that death, we want to just make sure that we're still maintaining our lead by continuing to clear our camps. And this is super important for any jungler. You want to make sure that you're not just permafighting and you are taking your camps while they're up, especially when there's really nothing else to do. So the Rift is going to spawn here soon. And with the huge lead our team has, it should be pretty easy for us to group up and take this rift. Yeah, so unfortunately they do die mid right before the rift spawns. And so we're just going to sit in the river here and try to make a play onto the Graves, who we see rotating over to the rift. And we are pretty fed right now, so we're just going to burst them down and then ult to get away. Yeah, so I really need my team to get back on the map so that we can contest this rift. Yeah, so in these situations, you want to make sure that your team is focusing down the same target. That way you can get an advantage in the team fight. But as a jungler, you always want to make sure you're staying alive so that you can secure the objective. Yeah, so my team is going to be pretty late to this rift, and so it's going to be a lot harder for me to secure this. There's just not enough time to fight for control over the rift and be able to safely secure the rift. But because my team is ahead, they're able to kill the Nazes, which is going to make their team back off of the rift, allowing me to secure it. So after getting the rift, we want to make sure that we don't die. And after checking the situation, we see that the Kai'Sa is just walking back in by herself. So we're going to re-engage onto her and pick up the easy kill. After that, we want to invade and steal some of Graves' camps when we see the Victor pushing up mid. And so we're going to rotate and try and pick up the kill there. Yeah, so timing your charm is going to be very important if you want to secure kills on Eve. And it's kind of similar to the way Echo's shield stun works. You kind of throw out your W and then you start to walk towards them. And if you're too early, then you're not going to get the charm, and if you're too late, they get away. So it's all about balance and just finding the right moment to go in. So after we back, we're going to start making our way over to the drag, and because my team has a really big lead, this should be a pretty free objective for us. And I would like to see us group up on the drag instead of going for these fights. We might up catching the Kai'Sa after she pushed bot lane, walking up the river. And at this point, I just want to go in and try and help my team out here and maybe secure more kills. Yeah, so this is where really bad macro will start to lose you the game. Even though we're winning 27 kills to 16, we still need to take down the first tower mid, and their top laner is just AFK split pushing side lanes. And so I see in a lot of games, people don't know how to respond to this, and it's actually really simple. You either have somebody stand there and keep clearing the waves in front of them, or you as a team can just group up onto them, because it's really easy to see. I mean, they literally just back, reset, and stay in one lane the entire game. And so it's really easy to predict. All you really have to do is just make sure you're watching out for objective timers and just pushing out the other lanes. As long as you're aware of what they're doing, it's a lot easier to plan a counter strategy. And so like there are benefits to someone split pushing like that, but most of the time you're just gonna get somebody that's just gonna stand in that lane and push up to the tower. And so it's like really easy to see when they're gonna do it, because they just literally walk into the lane and slow push waves. And so all you have to do is just basically push out the other lanes, and then I call it like just pulling the rug. So when you push the wave out, you just all start rotating to that lane, whatever lane that they're pushing. You kill them really fast, and then you group back up mid or wherever you need to go. But you do have to watch out, because if like there's a dragon spawning or if there's a baron spawning, you don't want to send 3 people to the opposite side of the map, because that's just going to give up the objective. But yeah, you really want to pay attention to stuff like that, because it's super predictable. And really all you have to do is just send one person down there to clear the wave. So because of the tension we brought down in bot lane, their team's going to rotate down, and we're going to finally be able to open up mid lane. And this is going to help us get more map control, because we're now going to be able to enter both sides of their jungle, steal camps, and get deeper wards into their side of the map, which is going to help us secure more objectives. Yeah, so on my last back, I was able to secure enough gold to just go straight into death cap. And this is a pretty luxury buy. I just bought death cap because we were super fed and I had the gold to do it. And so sometimes if I have enough gold to build a complete item, I'll go ahead and just build that complete item and then keep the component part of the next item that I'm going to build. So normally you would probably go for Lichbane here, but like I said, I just had a lot of gold, so I rushed the death cap and then finished up the Magi's. Yeah, so here you'll start to see what I'm talking about, where you just see Nasus pushing up, and all you have to do is just make sure it doesn't crash into the tower. Now, he's not playing super aggressive, so someone else might just like try and force you to play underneath the tower. But again, if you just clear the wave, then it's impossible for them to continue taking the tower. So really at this point in the game, there really isn't much to do. We're just going to basically start working our way over to Baron. And we see a fight break out in the enemy jungle, and so we're gonna go help out. We wind up getting 2 kills. You'll see me use Eve's passive here to regen all of my health and try and just play in and out. We probably have Baron secure here, but again, this game was actually really weird because the Nautilus just started split pushing for some reason. But again, we have Baron in the bag right now. So this fight here mid lane is just not necessary at all. Yeah, so at this point in the game, we're really fed. We have 600 AP at 25 minutes with 3 items. And so we're just playing with house money. It's going to be really hard for us to throw a 7k gold lead. Really all we need to do is just take Baron, win one more team fight, and we should be able to win this game pretty easily. Yeah, so this was a pretty weird finish. My support just started AFK splitting for no reason. I really have no idea what he was trying to do, but in these situations, there's really not much you can do. Yeah, so we see him get chased down by Nasus, and instead of following up the tank, we're gonna go ahead and pick up the free kill on their AD carry. Now we just need to make sure we get out of here. We are going to get caught on this red ward here, and then we see the Victor and Grace split up, and so we're just going to engage onto the Victor. And like at this point in the game, we have like 600 AP, we're super fed, so these kills are like just really easy. As soon as we saw them split apart, we can go in and take them out one after the other. So at this point, after we take the dragon here, we can either back or start working our way over to Baron. Now we're going to kind of linger in this area looking for another kill. And that's just because we saw how much damage we were doing. So if anyone comes down bot lane to answer this wave, we'll be able to kill them and stop them from pushing the lane back up. So eventually we'll rotate over to the Baron to help our team finish it off. Then we're going to want to pick up our buffs, reset, and then group up with our team to end the game. Yeah, so for my last item, I wound up going for Demonic Embrace. I was doing plenty of damage in the game, so I really could have bought anything like Zhonya's or Shadow Flame. But I chose Demonic Embrace for its passive burn damage, and I thought it would help my playstyle so I wouldn't have to commit onto every engage, and I could just kind of go for more chip damage. And the SHP would help me stay alive, allowing me to make riskier plays. It's definitely not the best item for Eve, but I knew we had enough damage already, so I was just testing it out. You would probably be better off just building a hard AP item there, but my team was so far ahead that we could have probably built anything and still won the game. Yeah, so we finished off the game, 26 kills, 4 deaths, 4 assists, 219 CS, full build, and 25 stats on our Magi's. And I really wanted to show you guys this game because Evelynn's kind of like, I call it risk-free jungling, just because she's able to stay invisible after sits. And if she gets fed, she just starts one-shotting everyone with her insane damage. And so that's going to do it for me, guys. If you have any questions or anything you want to know, just leave a comment on the video. Until next time, peace.